Hello and welcome to Catherine's Garden and Home. I just love this Cornelia rose. It's so fragrant and it fills the garden with a smell that is unique to this garden, my garden, Catherine's Garden. So come with me as we tour and look at all of the different roses. June is the month for roses in my garden, and I am just so pleased to share this with you. So come with me as we just take a look at them as they begin to bloom and open up in the garden. If you have not subscribed to Catherine's Garden, now's the time because there are more roses to come. Roses, roses, roses. I love its fragrance and I love the way that it wraps around the deck. And from the height of the deck, you really get to see the full beauty of the rose. From this vantage point, you really don't see it as clearly because the roses are looking up into the sky. But then, of course, there are some of the branches that are lower here and that you get to see the rose up close. I love it mingling with the barberry, the fern, and also the arborvitae, which is huge. Now, as we walk around the deck area, soon we will have hydrangeas in bloom, but then you come up to this rose, Westerland, just filling up this space. I also have my curly pink rose, which is starting to release its blooms as well. My hope is that Westerland will meet up with Cornelia on the other side as we continue to have our Eden climbing rose just spreading out on both ends. The gentleness of Eden climber rose and the bright, exciting color, that salmony pink color of Westerland mingling together and filling this whole area. I'm excited about the possibilities. I also have my fig tree here, and it's playing its role there as well. I am truly in love with the knockout red roses, and these roses have been in my garden for about 3 to 4 years now, and they're the best thing that ever happened to the garden because they are strong, they are tolerant of bad weather, they're resilient, and they're beautiful, and they just keep on blooming. And their this first flush is so encouraging. It's so bright, and it just stands out in amongst all this greenery that I have in my garden. Now this other rose is a sort of rugosa rose. I forget the name of it, but it is an old-fashioned rose. And usually, well, in the past, it was the first rose to bloom in my garden. But this year, it's been a little delayed. It's not the first anymore. But it's still very beautiful, and I love this color. One thing I love about this rose is that it's a self-cleaner. As the rose develops, it will just come off on its own. I don't have to deadhead like the other roses, like even climbing rose, I have to deadhead that. But this one is a self-cleaner, and it's been around for a long time in my garden. It's died back, but it grows on, and I believe too that it grows from rhizomes underneath because it's a spreader. So it is always reviving itself, even though I've had to cut it back very hard because of black spot and other things that happen to it, mainly black spot. So at this time, it really gives a beautiful appearance in the garden. It just fills the whole garden with a beautiful fragrance. This rose is highly fragrant, and it is a more old-fashioned rose. I've noticed that the old-fashioned roses definitely have a scent of beautiful fragrance, whereas the modern roses, like this knockout red rose, is not as fragrant. I'm taking the time to really look at these roses because the heat is coming, and it does affect their bloom, their petals. Now this is a rugosa rose, my white rugosa rose, and it's developing these hips, which hopefully will turn red and be very, very attractive on the bush. In the past, there were some sort of bugs that were eating the red hips, but hopefully I'll get them this year. But I just love the petal and the simplicity of this rose. You'll find this type of rose around the waterways. If you go down by the Kennedy Library and the Atlantic Ocean walkway, you'll see a lot of these roses planted there. When I saw it at Home Depot, I had to have one because I always admired that rose and wanted to have one in my garden. We have another rose here, and this is a knockout rose. But I wanted to show you this one here. This is an old-fashioned rose, a heritage rose, that's what I call it. And around the Boston area, you would see this rose in many, many front yards. And it is a climber. Some people have it climbing up on their houses, but just like how I have it here, kind of just trailing in different park places. Some people love it like that as well. But it's a one-time bloomer, but it's so beautiful, and it's, to me, has a very rich look. I call it my old-fashioned rose. Now tucked in underneath it here
is another knockout rose, and this is a pink double. I had it in a different location, but it wasn't doing well, so I decided to put it up here. But now it is kind of intermingled with this old-fashioned rose. Thing about the knockout rose, it will come back again. So when this is finished blooming, I'm going to cut it back hard, and that will leave space for this knockout rose to grow. But I love this color, and it looks really beautiful with my peonies in the background there. This area is just really filled with color, with the pinks and the reds and the lavender. And I have been showcasing this knockout rose. This rose bush is just one bush, but look how big it has grown. It really loves this spot, and I don't have the willpower to cut it back or do anything to it, just let it be. And this is what has happened. I love it with this rhododendron back here, and then also I have peonies that are tucked in behind here as well. The peonies were here first, then the rhododendron, and then the knockout rose. And then back over here, I have these peonies that are new and coming in. The peony's life is so short, so quick and so short. But it's beautiful for the time that it is here. Then I have the rhododendron, but also I have this rose that's tucked in behind. It is so beautiful. And I also have a Queen Elizabeth rose. I love this Queen Elizabeth rose. This is one of the first rose bushes that I put in the garden right here in this bed, and it has performed every single year. I just love the bloom. And I just love its fragrance. Now this is a wild rose, and I do love the flowers. They're so delicate. I also have in here another knockout rose, single, but it's like been overtaken by this rose. And finally, I have this ground cover rose here. And it hasn't opened up yet, but it will. It has plenty of blooms, and soon it will take up this area, adding some color to the front yard.
Each day, more and more of the blooms are releasing their beauty, but of course, many of them are dying back. So, yes, it's a lot of the same roses. However, each moment in each week, different roses are appearing. I love the succession of blooms in the roses. So come back and join me here at Catherine's Garden. For more videos, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And thank you so much for watching. See you next time right here in Catherine's Garden. Bye.